It's a wave the Mr. Quickie, oh yeah. Years ago, one of my favorite counter-apologetics YouTubers and Canadian brother from another mother, Apologia, engaged in a written debate with the Christian excusage extraordinaire Dr. Andrew Loke. Apparently, Loke wouldn't debate Paul elsewhere because he has a policy about not debating those without a PhD, just like Low Bar Bill, Christian excusage extraordinaire William Lane Craig. The topic they settled on was narrow. Is there good evidence for the group appearances of risen Jesus? These appearances include, but are not limited to, Jesus' alleged appearance to the 11 apostles, including the 40 days and possibly nights he spent with them after he rose, and the 500 people Jesus allegedly appeared to as reported by Paul in 1 Corinthians. Paul started off by doing something brilliant, which I've been screaming about for years. He talked about what would constitute good or sufficient evidence in a court of law. When there are serious consequences to the proceedings, like losing your freedom or worse, this is where the rules of evidence should be most refined, and they are. From Paul's post, quote, "Fortunately, these professions have spent centuries refining the nuance of best evidential practices, and we can leverage those lifetimes of experience today. From the legal profession, we learn that evidence must have relevance, materiality, admissibility, probative value, and weight." Then, Paul goes after the only thing Christians have in terms of both the evidence for the group appearances of Jesus and the resurrection in general: hearsay testimony and collusion. Hearsay is not allowed at all in a court of law, not without some reason for exception. And collusion is so serious, it's up to the plaintiff to disprove collusion. For those of you unaware, we don't have any primary sources in terms of evidence for the life and death of Jesus, nor for his appearances after he allegedly rose from the dead. Nor do we have any primary sources for his 40 days of hang time, the good kind of hang time this time. Nor for the alleged 500 witnesses who saw the risen Jesus as reported years later by Paul. The Gospels are all anonymous. No one knows who wrote them, nor do they even claim to be written by first-hand witnesses. The names Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were attached later. They are not primary sources. Literally every word in the Gospels is hearsay testimony. It would never be allowed in a court of law, nor would Paul's second or third-hand account from 1 Corinthians. And that's really the whole ballgame, especially given the fact that we're talking about something truly extraordinary. A man dead for 36 hours, rising from the grave, people seeing him, living, breathing, eating, people handling him, which honestly sounds a little kinky to me, but hey, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, especially since it technically wouldn't constitute necrophilia. The only reason anyone takes any of this seriously is because this nonsense has been around for so long, completely saturating the culture and entirely without challenge. Before people started doing things like seriously evaluating evidence for such claims. There is a built-in bias which remains to this day, largely because of the indoctrination so many of us were inflicted with as small children. That's it. No one on their own would think that a claim as miraculous as a man rising from the dead would be seriously considered when the only evidence offered is hearsay from people who weren't even there, who never witnessed the risen dead man for themselves, but rather wrote these stories 40 to 60 years later based on what some other people said. This clearly is not Sparta. This is madness. Think about it. We have billions of people who believe that a dead man rose from the grave based on nothing more than 2,000-year-old inadmissible hearsay and collusion amongst the gospel authors. You literally could not get arrested on such evidence. Not even for a misdemeanor. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.